Hey Hazer, we're going into this weekend here to start the season. Obviously, the team made changes in the off season, and looking on the back end, how big of a difference does your defense look with Ian Lord and Chad Tutton here?
Uh, Big difference. They are two veterans who bring a bit of an edge, which is going to make us a little more difficult to play against. And at the same time, while they're really physical, they're especially Tuts. Chad can get up the floor in a real hurry and create some offense out of our back end as well. So he's going to help relieve some of the pressure from our right side and Matt Gilray and Reeser and OC and Brad. Between him and Medi there, Josh Medeiros, we can sort of balance our attack from the back end forward.
When you look at your preseason, I mean, how realistic is it that you can take the results from there and translate it into the regular season? Like, how much can really be fused in with what was what appeared to be a really good training camp for this group?
You can take pieces of it, and more so what we were doing, um, and how we kind of responded. Like offensively, we got kind of in a bit of a lull there. Actually, a couple scrimmages there the last week against Ottawa as well. And we kind of turned the page where we just kept it consistent against Colorado. So we kind of built up to that point. And we didn't have that kind of lull from the front end. We just sort of adapted a little bit better in the Colorado game, defensively as well. We're getting on the same page. So, and it's results are great and they're always measurable and you want to get those results. But at the end of the day, we had 29 guys in training camp that all had playing time during these scrimmages, as did every other team. So there's guys who are no longer on those teams that were on the floor that might have been able to take advantage of it, vice versa. So it's a good result. Like I say, we like the result, but at the end of the day, the pieces coming together was more important for us.
And looking at your season opening roster, I mean, 16 guys are back from last year. You feel like any team that doesn't win a championship, there's always talks of, okay, well, they need to get better to take that next step forward the following season. But how much of it is just the need to get better internally? Because it's not always, I mean, we talked about, a couple of your new additions, but it's not always going to be done through that, right? It's not always going to be exclusively free agency. So, how much better do you think this team can be and needs to be with all the returnees to take another step?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there a little bit, especially with the internal growth side of things, especially from our front end. Like we're inserting graded hog, and that's pretty much it. So we're looking for that chemistry that they already built last year to further develop it and make sure that, like I say, they're another year older, another year wiser. We got such a young core up there that experience is a valuable thing, and we're going to run on the experience they learned. And Graydon Hogg is again an energy guy that came in and pushed these guys to make sure they're good, and added some depth that not to disrespect the guys that have been here before, but we don't know if we'll consistently be strong right. We don't need to be anymore. We have 4 or 5 righties that are really good, and we got 4 or 5 lefties that are really good as well. So in the front end, and yeah, like I say, we identified the tweaks we needed to make. Big thing being is defensively for us. We gave up way too many goals, way too many easy goals. So we added a couple pieces and again built around a core that again is growing together.
Awesome. That's all I have. Thanks, Hazer.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, excited to be back again this year as the floor reporter. Just a few quick ones for you here. Connor Fields, I mean, last year, another historic season built off the previous year. How can he continue to become even a better player for you guys as a two-way guy?
You know what? Again, just reading situations maybe a little bit quicker, and relying on his teammates a little bit more. And we think through training camp, because we've seen a lot of things that he didn't do last year. Um, he kind of carried a load, and I thought the load had to be on his back. And again, I think through the summer he kind of learned a few things, I guess, playing in the PLL. Um, and here during scrimmages and throughout training camp, like he's a force. Balls in the stick. Obviously, it's hard for us to check or anybody to check, but at the same time, he's swinging the ball a lot sooner, which is going to give him more time and space at the end of the day as well, where guys just can't key on him. When he swings that ball, now they're going to have to shift towards our readies, Smitty and Niter, and it's just going to open up the floor so much more for him. So I think that aspect of his game through training camp so far, he's added it, and he's going to be even more dynamic and more tough to handle.
The more that I look into this Las Vegas team, they really do kind of seem like a dark horse and really improved in the offseason. What type of challenges do they really present for you guys in week one?
Again, offensively, they improved tremendously. You grabbed Donville from Panther City there, and a couple other guys on the left side. I'm sorry, I don't have quite my notes in front of me. Patras coming in as a rookie this year as well on that left side. And then Dylan Kinnear as well, big body. They're going to be a handful every time they step on offensively for sure. Defensively as well, they got a good core, and they're very active, and they get up the floor well. So we got to make sure that we are responsible first and foremost, because the two games against us, we kind of got a bit of a lead, and they ran us a little bit. And, they chipped in some easy transition goals that at the end of the day we're going to try and limit to make sure that we come out on the right side this time around.
Kind of going off what Andrew said with those 16 returners, who from that group specifically are you really looking towards? Like, okay, that guy could really have a bigger impact than maybe they did for our group last year.
You know what? I think everybody's got to take a little bit of a responsibility to make sure that they are going to be better at the end of the day here. Like Smitty had a dynamite year. T-Mac, Thomas McConkey had a real good year. I only see his numbers improving. If you want to talk to say on number side of things, he's going to have a better year this year, just being a little more comfortable with the group and the game that's played. And at the same time, our goaltenders as well. Ryland is pretty much healthy this year right off the bat. So, they're going to have to take a step forward, because at the end of the day, no matter what happens in front of them and what we do, bringing guys in and schematically, we're going to need saves. And so far through training camp, all three goalies have been really good. So we like our chances where we are here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
No problem. Thanks.
Hey, Coach, Adam Levy here. Hope you're doing well. I've got a couple for you here. So on looking at the roster, there's a couple of guys. Obviously, I look at the practice roster. I know we've spoken previously last season about a guy like Jake Pacino who is coming in. What's his situation? Obviously, didn't crack the non-practice squad. So take me through kind of that decision making, and are we going to see him at some point during the year?
100%. We'll see Jake at some point here. And again, that's the one thing. We draft 2 years ago, go back 2 drafts, right? You don't foresee, gaining roster spots or gaining bodies by a team folding. And we were able to bring in a couple of good bodies from Panther City. Obviously, and a couple of free agents that came over here and signed in the back end that just made it so much deeper. So for Jake, it did turn into a bit of a numbers game. And again, he's going to get the reps. He's going to further develop the box side of things. But him personally, he impressed. He's dynamic, and when he gets a job, he's like a dog on a bone. He does it very, very well, and he's just only going to get better and more comfortable with the reps through practice. That he's going to gain with these guys, and yes, 110%, he will be on the floor for us at some particular point.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Another guy who, at least he's listed on the inactive list right now, is Joe Post. He's a big face-off winner, and I know the numbers don't necessarily support face-offs mattering that much, at least in terms of wins. But what's the situation with him? And if he's not taking the face-offs, who is going to be doing that?
Yeah, Posty let us know just through the summer there that he's going to take a little bit of a step back from the box side of things. And again, he's going to explore it as the season progresses, where his mindset is to jump back in, and hopefully he does. Because without him, it's tough to play D every opportunity, every possession, right? So he did a really good job for us, leveling that possession time at the end of the day. And with his presence not being there, we're going to do it by committee. We're going to Taylor Jensen has taken a big leap forward here on that side of things. He's not going to be the only guy that's going to do it. We got a couple guys that are, again, and the group on the floor that are going to be battling and fighting to get that loose ball. Jensen's going to pull it out. Whoever's not is going to try and pull it out, make it a scrum, and then it's up to our guys to go grab it. So we're going to do it by a 5-man unit every time we're on the floor.
Amazing. And just finally for you, not to be too cheesy, but American Thanksgiving was yesterday. When you look at this year's roster and what this club looks like right now, what are you most thankful for about this team?
You know what? The opportunity that these guys seem to be giving themselves already here through training camp. They've pushed each other through the summer. And again, just a lot of the guys here have just gotten, again, another year younger or another year older, smarter. They've gotten stronger and faster amongst themselves as well. So I'm really, again, I'm thankful that they believe in what we're doing here. And I really do like what we're doing so far, and can't wait to get on the floor tomorrow to see.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Coach.
No problem. Thanks.
Robert, do you have anything?
Hazer, Sean Williams is the head coach of the other team. Obviously, you guys share a lot of history together. What is it like going up against a team coached by Sean Williams?
You know what? It's fun. And while we were teammates, we were probably competitors longer. And right now he's 2-0 on me as far as the coaching side of things go. So yeah, we're definitely going to be battling again. I'm sure we come out the right side of this thing, but yeah, it's fun when, like I say, you can always quickly connect, chit chat, and again, fire a couple pot shots maybe at each other, but yeah, just can't wait.
Go ahead, Tim.
I'm good.
Hey, Hazer. Hey, just real quick, just kind of build upon a little bit about something was asked about before. We talk about all the returning guys that you have coming back, but also let's talk a little bit about how last season ended and how you made such a big run to make it to the postseason and then really battled in that game. What can you take from that, especially with the returning guys? And every season, yes, is this new entity, but can you build upon what you had from before into now?
Yeah, again, experience is such a valuable tool, and for such a young group that we do have on the floor, battling to get into the playoffs and just realizing that every moment does really count. So to making sure that that moment in front of us, you're going to do your damnedest to make sure you come out the right side of it. I think that was so valuable. And again, Fieldsy had such a dynamite little run there, especially that last weekend. So he sees what he can do in this league, as does his teammates, as what we do as a group at the end of the day here. And yeah, every loss is disappointing. You go into Toronto, we were a lot better than we were 2 weeks earlier when they spanked us pretty good. But we also at the end of the day know that that's not quite enough. So you see what Toronto is an upper echelon team. They're predicted to be into the playoffs, competing for a championship every single time. So to come close against those guys in the last game of the year, I guess there's a little bit of a take away from it, a little bit of solace that we're not quite there, but at the same time, this year I think we closed the gap on everybody, and you know what? I think that's also one thing too. Just a quick comment: the benefit of, the good thing of, at the same time, a crappy part about the business here is that every team got better by losing a team. Right? There's 25 rosters spots that were in this league last year that are no longer there. So I think everybody benefited from gaining the Panther City guys. We did but everybody else did too. So it's yeah, we really like our group where we are today, and we're going to see how that measures up starting Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem. Thanks.
We're up there, guys. Thanks for all the time today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.